Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is the part 2 of our Twitch recap from last week's Twitch live stream, where we were continuing launches for Mars in our current Mars window. We got the new habitat for Harmonia off the ground last time, and now we will be getting our new Mars surface installation base research center. Something like that, rolled out to the pad and launched on its absolutely spectacular launch vehicle, which, by the way, needs a name. And since there isn't really a better place in this episode for me to tell you to leave a comment down below suggesting names for this new lifter as designed by Human Person, it's not my build, it was built by Human Person, and there it is. This is, I don't know, a mega heavy class lifter. Featuring lots and lots and lots of RD-172s for the core stage and the boosters, and then a set of 4 HG-3As on that amazingly painted upper stage that will push this yet-to-be fueled or crewed Mars base all the way to Mars, where it will also assist in a propulsive capture, which is something this program has not done a whole lot of yet. And after we make sure that the rocket is fully fueled, because that's the best way to do a liftoff, we will go ahead and get our window set up and then proceed with the launch. So I guess I will turn you over to old me live during the broadcast. 4, 3, 2, 9. We're just going to go. So are you positive? Are you positive with all type of custom textures? There's a limit. there is a limit. David Hasselhoff is obviously not that limit. Will I fly ridiculous things? Absolutely, and with glee. But there is a limit. Alright, SAS is on, the moon is directly above us, so hopefully won't be screwing everything up. Throttle set to full, quick staging check. Engines, booster sep, fairing sep, stage sep, ignition. We are good to go. Alright, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Wookiee, SimG, pretty much. Ignition sequence start. Long spool time. Solid light. Clamps off. What the hell else got staged? Why did we have a normal other staging sound that didn't sound like a good staging sound? Alright, whatever. We're here. We're going. That I just zapped into. Welcome back, Luca. Just kind of wanted to send a flying Doge meme to the moon. I would fly a Doge meme. Elka and Strelka. That could be a thing. Frankie and Zoe, the new Belka Strelka. Alright, 40 meters per second. We should probably be going more up-ish, perhaps. Keeping it at that 2.7. Yeah, we've got solid performance specs over here. Why is that only 7? These should be producing a touch bit more than that for 172s. That is interesting. Oh, and vacuum. Derp, derp, derp. You're wondering what area you are in because of the tornado. I know you told me once ago. I forgot. Oh, I am in St. Louis, Missouri. Or rather, on the just outside Metro proper. But St. Louis is this weird amalgamation where we have a lot of like townships that touch borders with the city proper. and whereas St. Louis itself is a very small city, if you take in everything that's in like St. Louis County, it's still pretty small, but like 4 times the size of the city. We need to lean into this gravity turn a little bit. We can be kind of aggressive with this, because we're going to maintain a pretty decent TWR this whole profile. Nope, nope. It's just maintaining relative inclination is going to be the fun part. You can keep falling there, buddy. Bring it down. Come on, a little lower. I'd like to see a .2 if you please. Nope. Okay. .29. We can do .29. It's the Hoff. It can handle it. Fair. There's nothing we can't throw the Hoff at. Let's just frame him very nicely here. Get maximum Hoff. Tornadoes in the late autumn. Yeah. I don't know, I guess our tornado, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's exactly normal, but yeah, we get them some in early spring, and then some in mid to late autumn. Although I'd say November is a bit of a stretch. Human person, how's it going? I don't know if we had an actual tornado or just a warning. I have no news on if there was a touchdown or if there's any property damage, but we get warnings all the time. And most people just kind of go, yeah, whatever. But a peek outside looked pretty grim and rather green, so I decided to play it safe, take the dogs to the basement. Hasselhoff and Hydrolox have the same poetic meter. Gonna make for some interesting lyrics when the bards tell the story of this. Dog goes first, crash second. Indeed, they don't really understand what goes on. They just think we're going to the basement to play. But usually when it's raining, they're like hunkered under something. Dog goes first then, baby. Agreed. Yeah, we might be arced over a little heavy. Alright, so yeah, okay, good. Our thrust did come up 8.3 kilonewtons, operating essentially at their vacuum mode, 30 kilometers altitude. Stable .25, solid minute from stage sep. Well, a minute real time. Oh boy, we are so not in real time. From what I remember, we don't really ever need to throttle this back. Is that right, human person? I can't imagine how you folks live with tornadoes, storms, earthquake storms, insects, crocodiles, and enormous heat. How precise will I be on that orbit injection? That depends on chat. A difference of less than 1,000 kilometers and no snow. I can go without snow. We get it once or twice a year, maybe it sticks around for about 12 hours, and then it's back to t-shirt weather. God bless the Midwest. Oh, screenshot taken. Get one without the HUD, probably. Even better idea. Yeah, 140. We need to be over here somewhere. Dang it. Luca, you distracted me again. So we're just gonna get real inefficient with it. Keep in mind that each engine has 400 kilonewtons more than previous variants. Indeed. Sure, it's all my fault. Well, not just you. It's watching me. Can't watch it. Fish sound looking off like your... Yes, but your Ascent guidance is good and efficient. This is absolutely not. Alright, where are we? 2 minutes 10 from Apogee. And it could be falling in real time, I have no idea, because real time is just kind of a abstract concept for us at this point. Anything but efficient, I beg to differ. It still uses way less delta V to orbit than I do. This is probably why. Booster SEP. Please get clear, you heavy bastards. Excellent. Boosters are clearing away. Fairing SEP. Not 1.5 TWR. We're gonna have to pitch up. No, 3 minutes 24 seconds of runtime, 2 minutes 2 seconds from our apogee, so we might be okay just holding about 2 or 3 degrees above. Extend. And we can probably just go with 2 of these for right now. Extend. What we do need, however, is comms. I learned that lesson once already. Earth. Goodbye. Man, you can still see them back there. That's pretty cool. Drop the stage faster, please. Oh, the Hoff is coming with us all the way to Mars. You got a lot of staring at Hoff to do. I think he likes you. God, this is so ridiculous. And so yes, when pushed on how ridiculous a rocket I will fly. I would like to remind everyone that I have a very serious problem of not being able to take absolutely anything seriously. And this is what happens. Alright, current speed 3.3 kilometers per second. We got about another 3.5 left in this stage. It puts us at 6.8, so we're going to need a little bit of a love from our Hoff stage. Hydrolox Hasselhoff. Which also means we're going to need to push that time to apogee out a little bit to give us time to not fall back into the atmosphere. She mod that texture in. Technically, I did not. Human person did. Human person built this rocket. It's stock now, added in the latest update. How's it going, Ozen? Welcome, welcome. No, people from the Discord, people who hang out here, generally have helped me keep the episode count going by building missions for me, as my time is very limited with having a small child. And included in that was what kind of textures we can use. So this base that is going to the surface of Mars was built by me over live streams, but the entire lifter was built by human person, including getting the absolutely amazing textures for our transfer stage. Aero devs know the priorities. Hoff is your child, forget your previous life. Alright, it's time to apogee climbing yet? No, okay. That's good. I think it is falling in less than real time, however. So maybe we'll end up with building a little bit of oomph to it. Maybe this won't be the worst ascent that I've done on a live stream thus far. So much speculation. Optimistic knowledge, how's it going? What did I arrive to? We're sending the Hoff to Mars. I mean, we're sending a base. Hoff's just gonna get them there. Because I think that human person didn't think that I would actually fly this. Tornado over Hoff. Logical transition. Yes, indeed. Absolutely indeed. Wait, I just realized that when you detach the launch clamp, you achieve liftoff. Ooh. Oh, I was confident you would actually fly this. Okay, good. Oh, relative inclination, .32. That's what I'm not paying attention to. So which way do we need to redirect to bring that down? Oh, the opposite way of where I went, of course. It's not half your house. You'd be gone. Good reason to stay alive. Not 2.7? Is that as low as we're gonna get? Nope, not 2.6. Okay. Oh yeah, time to apogee is climbing. Excellent. So I don't know what kind of runtime we're going to need off of our Hoff upper stage. Hoff stage. The Hassle stage. 3-1 climbing again. So, correct. Let's get down in the node here. I'm officially baffled at these puns. Ah, that one's way better than all of mine combined. 3.3. Alright, and minute 56 or 56 seconds in climbing, 27 seconds left on this stage. Let's bring it down to about 2 degrees. Of course I had to pun too. Lift off, it looked a bit like a phallus, but now it looks more like a flashlight. But yeah, there's a joke there too, isn't there, Wookie? Oh, okay. So many bad jokes. So many bad jokes. I'm going to try to curtail my absolutely terrible humor and the Hoff puns. 3.6, we still, yeah. Alright, 2 seconds. Stage set, and ignition of the HG3s. Said good day. Oh, that was way less dramatic than we thought it was going to be. RCS to arm. Make sure I locked whatever fuel there actually is in this thing. good. And we'll get our panels out and our radiators active. Extend. I already activated that one, didn't I? Yes, okay. Activate. Extend. Or I guess you just don't want to extend today, huh? Alright. And did we get top radiator that we can't see because of engine glare? We did not activate radiator. Fantastic. Alright, minute 29 and falling. So let's go ahead and get angled in. There we go. About 3-4. Nah, not terrible, but I appreciate your effort. I had this texture to procedural tags. Textures just for this purpose. So yeah, again, blame human person. I mean, yes, I added it, but he built the rocket and textured it and got the texture in here so flawlessly. It's just absolutely amazing from literally every angle. Another 20 RD-172s expended. Only 20? Yeah, I guess it is 20. There's the 20-4 was the original lifter designation. Before it came the Taskmaster Hass. Now it looks like we can actually angle down a bit. That's good news. Used a trick to make the texture seamless? Oh! There's a trick to it now. I mean, I don't know. All the textures I've made are like 5th grade level, if that. Like, MS Paint is a little beyond my skill set, so... How bad does it look if you put it on a smooth cone tank? Oh, we're gonna have to find out. Alright, well, Periapsis is climbing relatively slowly, so Luca, what is the challenge for my, the orbit accuracy? Are we just looking for, general eccentricity, or are we, distance between, or difference between apogee and perigee altitudes? Say less than 1,000 meters between Peri and Apo? Oh, dang it. We'll see what we can't pull off here. Alright, there's our camera change. Just making my camera offset super awkward. Can't be distracted now. I have to stare at numbers. Yeah, that's as good as I'm going to get. 20 kilometers. Way off. 20 times outside the fielded range. But 243 by 220. That's really good for me, actually. Yeah, one of my better orbital circularizations, but still not good enough to beat the computer, it would seem. Anyway, so after we get our camera angle readjusted to something a little bit more normal, we'll get Mars targeted. We'll bring up Mech Jeb to plot the node for us. Eventually, it has to do a lot of computational whatchamahoozits, and this time I think we'll actually double check to make sure that we are going to Mars and are not going to hit the moon. We'll make a few small adjustments here, not that they'll matter much, because I will never hit a node accurately ever to save my life for anything. The problem here being is that we're kind of low. I guess, and that the angle was not exactly a good one for TMI, but very slow rotation on this big heavy thing. But no worries, it's got the thruster ports built for it, and eventually we'll time warp on around to where we can actually light these engines. The interesting problem that we will face is that the engines aren't very difficult to click on. They have a very, very small hitbox. So eventually we'll just kind of decide to wing it and light the engines anyway, even though we don't quite know that they are ullaged. Anyway, old me ruined it. All right, fingers crossed. Ignition. Whew. Looks like we have a good light on all four. Thank God. Let's see if Flight Computer wants to hold a node today. And everyone pray for our periapsis. Still 24. 12-kilometer air in the peri and 12-kilometer in the apo. Fair enough. Aero jerk. Oh. It is also nice to know that our approach to Mars this window is extraordinarily, I don't know, I use the term shallow, that's not, I don't know, technically correct. But yeah, it's the word I'm going to go for. We're coming in pretty shallow, so our delta V to capture is going to be considerably lighter than the sometimes up to 6 kilometers per second difference needed on previous missions. Single RO10, $15, $20. Like, come on, Aerojet. Oh, million. No. Will not disappoint us. He couldn't, even if he tried. So delta V needed to get from the surface to orbit of Mars. I think if you do it right and with a good TWR, you can probably pull it off with 4 point something. I try to plan for 5 and some coin. No, this does not need to go to the surface. Not the whole thing, anyway. This one little part right here, like these two cabins, these pods over here, this is the Ascent stage. This is going to carry the crew from the surface back to the station that is in orbit of Mars after their mission is complete. About 4 kilometers per second. Yeah, sounds about right. I try to budget more than that for reasons that should now be obvious, in that I'm terrible at most things. I'm just going to recenter David Hasselhoff here. Makes up for all of the shortcomings of the rest of this program. Periapsis, I would like for you to not... 2 minutes away. Reducing it a little bit more than a kilometer per second. That's what, 100 and... almost 100. Wow, that zeroes it out, basically. What was the status of the around Venus activity? There was a little bit of an emergency around the Venus station trying to disassemble itself or reassemble itself inside of itself. We got that problem sorted. It is on course. The mid-course correction has been executed successfully, and it will make Venus intercept, and it does have the DV to capture. Yeah, we are getting a little low on periapsis. I'm going to keep an eye on it very closely, and also hope and pray. Looks like we're pushing the periapsis out in front of us, although I don't really know what real time is, so maybe this will go well. Maybe it won't. Yeah, we're still 5 minutes out from the node. I'm not sure if I want to throttle down. So what, that we used 1 ignition already, plus this one, that's 2, that's 3 left. We'll need 1 for mid-course correction and 1 for a capture. Throttling down only ruins our runtime, although we could shut 2 engines down. Real time is relative. Hi. Wonder how much DV is Ascent from 1 bar level at Venus to low Venus orbit. Delta V map show it from the surface, something like 1700. I think 1700 is a little conservative. I always thought it'd be something more like 2200, or yeah, 22,000. Sorry. Captured around supposed DV. Wait, what? Nice to have some sort of time to vary absolute acceleration to know if you're slowing or decreasing time. It looks like the case. Yep. I'd say generally best I have to go on is if the clock is yellow, we are operating in slower than real time. That doesn't really affect these numbers over here. Half suit. Oh, good. I'm glad you clipped that, Wook. That's awesome. Thank you. Yes. Oh boy. We're gonna have to get above this node a bit. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to tell Flight Computer that I want control back. Thank you very much. Still above, still sinking. Oh good. What's the supposed DV for capture and rendezvous? Rendezvous I couldn't tell you. I think the capture DV is... Capture DV is pretty cheap, something like 800 or 900 meters per second. Getting into a low orbit is going to cost us about another 2,000 or 3,000 kilometers per second, roughly. Definitely because I use the footage on YouTube. Twitch, or at least I've only figured out how to export a single audio track from Twitch, which means my voice, game chat, everything would be on the same track as the music. Now, I would, if I could export in multi-channel audio and put the music on one track and everything else on another, just so I could delete the music entirely and keep everything else, I would absolutely do it. But yeah, because it's going to YouTube, I have to be careful of copyright stuff. No music, please. This means I get to listen to your own music. Yes, everyone should have their own soundtrack to me. I could make some recommendations. Melodic dubstep. Your screens are green without the music. Alright. 30 seconds from Perigee. I think we can actually start to angle back into our node a little bit more than what we are currently. I mean, coming in about 5 kilometers off the deck. You have to record via OBS and strip it out yourself. Yeah, say when I just record through OBS, I split the audio, and just Twitch doesn't really do that for me, which is sad because I don't really know how recording and streaming at the same time would slam the performance, which with this version of KSP, with so many things doing stuff already, is already a little iffy. Alright, can we... How close to this node can we get? Oh boy. Alright, looks like it's climbing, or it's falling a whole lot slower. Using identical encoding, it should be okay? Really? That's interesting. If you're using split encoding, it would choke a bit. Okay. Well, I'm certainly going to have to try this now. I mean, not right now, but soon now? Hey Lucy, how's it going? Alright, shutting down. I know we're 72 meters per second off. Let's check the map view. We've got different resolutions, etc., etc. Yeah, I'll say I definitely tried to universalize all of that. Oh, come on, KSP. Let's go. So as soon as KSP decides to catch up with us, we'll take a look at our basic telemetry here and try to figure out how exactly we're going to get to Mars, basically at that angling off the node so that we didn't go piling through the atmosphere at a couple kilometers per second. Really kind of threw us off, so we're going to adjust a little bit here on RCS just to try to level out some of the node, but I think we're just far too off from our plotted trajectory. So the decision was made to shut down 2 of the HT3s, both to preserve their runtime and save their ignitions in case we should need them later, and go ahead and light the other 2, try to round out this node as much as we can, and still no Mars encounter. You see from here, we are way off from where we were supposed to be, unfortunately, so a correction node will be needed, and there was a whole lot of tugging at the nodes here, trying to get that relative inclination, or ascending node, descending node, whichever it is, to line up in time correctly enough to get us a rendezvous. Some discussion on the flight plan for the rest of this drop base, which is basically for it to park itself in Mars orbit with the assistance of our Hoff upper stage, and then await for a supply run to bring it fuel and life support supplies, and then the next crew out will rendezvous with it and board. Well, 4 of them will board the vessel, and then proceed down to the surface, and will probably be a ridiculously stressful landing, although we've run it through the simulations a couple of dozen times at this point, so really it can land. We know it can successfully land. We just need the engines to not fail. We need to time the burns correctly, and generally everything go our way. So after quite a considerable amount of tugging at nodes, we actually do get a closer flyby. Now we just need to target Harmonia Station and hope that we can bring ourselves into a nice place where our periapsis aligns with one of those ascending or descending nodes at some point. Of course, we can always correct for this a little bit later. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but we do have a very nice alignment right there. So we'll just go ahead and get ourselves kind of angled into the node at some point eventually. This thing is still quite heavy. The base itself is probably right around 120 some odd tons, perhaps. And no idea what the mass of our Hoff stage is at this particular point, with most of its fuel expended. Not that it really matters a whole hell of a lot, as long as we don't exceed the runtime. We're still operating only on 2 engines. We will probably continue to do so until we make our capture burn at Mars, where we will need the largest thrust-to-weight ratio in the smallest amount of time we can possibly manage. And then time warp ourselves on around the node. We might as well try to be accurate with it, since we did get a pretty daggone good alignment out of it, bringing us quite far away from Earth. Very nice view there. And for the lighting of this burn, I will turn you back over to old me, live during the broadcast. Alright, let's bring it out of time warp, 40 seconds out. Ullage says that it's stable. That is very interesting. It's very interesting indeed. Alright, we're just going to light them right at 22. Angle on the node, please. The shadow of the panel makes Hoff look like some edgy gang member with face paint. 5, 4, ignition sequence. Up and running. Full bore. Let's just let them run. And soon we'll switch over to our map view and see how screwed we are. And we are getting some boil off, even from our super insulated tank, and I can't transfer fuel while I have these engine things open. Because, you know, of course not. would have been hilarious if your two engines weren't opposite each other. Hilarious for who? Boil off. Damn it. You in person, what have you done? Yep. This is a Shadow Hoff. He gets no face tattoo. This is 2. Some engines stay very stable no matter how long the coast was, and other engines become very unstable right after cutoff. What are we looking at here, KSP? You know, come on, man. Sort it out. Twitch recap, Lucy. So yeah, what tank type comes with pressure headers? Didn't even notice that this was a thing yet. And shutdown. Hey, not too bad. Oh god, it's going to start chasing this node all over Kingdoms Come. So which way do we use our thrusters to make this be where I want it to be? I mean, we'll just try all of them at any given point. Basically, we'll try to line ourselves up with, I don't know if that's normal or anti-normal. I think it's anti-normal at this point. And then press all the buttons until we get it something a little more resembling what we wanted it to be. Of course, it never quite works out as well as you want it to. So the approach is going to be a little wide, but we're going to try to correct for that before we enter Mars SOI and take advantage of as much over effect as we can. So anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.